All right, hello, and welcome to Afternoon Drive here after a little bit of a hiatus with the snowfall. My name is Drew Moholland. Hello to everybody streaming on the television and to our usual listeners here on WJOP Radio. Hope everybody has been good. The snowfall canceled, I guess it was 2 shows in a row, so we haven't really spoken to you in a little while, so we've missed you. Good to be back, though. Lots of snow out there, not quite spring. That's not too cool. I'm ready for summer, but anyway, the golf clubs will have to stay in the trunk for a little while. Great show on tap for you today. We'll talk a little bit about that in a second. It's March Madness, very exciting. I was just catching some basketball on the radio as I was driving in. University of Rhode Island, one of the 2 New England teams in, just won their game. Providence plays tomorrow. So for those of you interested in the March Madness, that's very exciting. I think there was I think the Newburyport kids did a walkout today for the gun control. Might have a couple people that can speak to that in just a moment. I'll ask around and start asking some questions. A few schools did that after the nationwide thing yesterday. But I'll just tell you who we have on today. We got Molly Elmore, return guest, one of the hockey goaltenders. She's one of the few return guests that we've had here. We haven't had too many, but Molly is a second-time guest on the show, so you might remember her. And, of course, we're joined by Ken Hodge, too, of Newburyport Clippers boys hockey, who just took home some very cool hardware this week after a great season. So we will get to these guys in just a moment. Don't forget you can tune into the Twitter account here at Joppa Afternoons on Twitter. There's the little bird there, and well, the bird went away, but on Twitter. If you have any questions for these guys as we go, feel free to shoot them my way. We'll ask it during the show. I've kind of liked the interactive thing as we've done that in recent weeks. So I don't know. With 2 guests on here, I find that the questions tend to be upped. So keep them appropriate, and we will ask these guys some questions. But we got them in-house right now. Molly Elmore and Ken Hodge are right here, ready to go. So let's do this. We'll take our first quick little break here. We'll be right back. We'll, for the first time in a little while, we'll have Afternoon Drive here with me. My name's Drew Moholland. Keep it here, Joppa Radio. Drive here on Joppa Radio. My name is Drew Moholland. So, goaltender show here today. How about this? Very cool. We have Molly Elmore. She plays she goes to Newburyport, but she plays for the Masco hockey team, which is the combined schools. We went through that last time she was here. It's very cool, though. And she's a star goaltender. Ken Hodge, another star goaltender, right here in studio. So we have a lot of great goaltending in the house. Hey, guys, how are you? Let's make sure we grab that. So whenever you guys talk, just grab the mic. We'll just pull it towards your face. Kenny, we'll talk to you first. Grab the mic, Kenny. We haven't had you on yet. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Obviously, yeah. Well, I'm going to turn your mic on. So there you go. Obviously, end of the season for you guys the other night. Great season, though. What a bounce back year, and what a great year for you.
Yeah, it was a good season. We had a lot of fun, and we all bounced back after a rough season last year. Would have liked to get a few more wins in the playoffs, but
yeah,
it's all right.
Tough 1-0 loss to, what was it, Winchester? Is that right?
Yeah, very tough.
Good team. What did the coach tell you guys? Coach Paul, you mean? I know you guys love playing for him. So what was the post game speech?
Not much. Just to keep our heads up high. We had a really good season. He just wanted us to walk out of the rink as winners, and he was very happy about getting our first Division I playoff win.
Yeah, it had been a little while.
It's been a long time, yeah.
That's right. That's the first one since D1, right?
Yes.
Well, I forgot about that. Wow, so that's some big moment anyway.
Yeah, huge moment.
That was a hard-fought game too, right? That first one?
Yeah.
That was first, remind me.
It was against Austin Prep.
Austin Prep, yep. So it was a good battle. What was it like getting that? It must have felt good to just get that one off your chest a little bit, because I know there was some pressure building after a few years of first-round losses.
Yeah, there was a little bit of pressure, but it was awesome. Honestly, it was a special feeling winning that first game.
Yep.
Especially a team we weren't expected to beat.
Yep.
So it's really awesome beating them.
Cool. Well, it was a great year for you guys. I did pretty much all your games over the couple of years before that, and then the year before, so I knew this group pretty well. What changed from the year before where you guys missed the tournament? Then suddenly you're the best team in the Cape Ann League again this year, and I mean, you guys were even in the Super 8 conversation there for a little bit. Crazy turnaround year.
Yeah, I think it was all about just experience, because we had...
I thought you were going to say goaltending, but...
No. No, we had, I think, 11 seniors, and 8 or 9 of them who had been playing on the team for 3 or 4 years at least. And so we had a good group of leadership. We had a bunch of juniors, I think 5 or 6 of them who had all been playing too.
Yep.
So we were a really old team. We had a lot of experience, and we were all just really determined to get back to the playoffs and get a few wins.
Absolutely. Well, you guys, of course, share the common theme of being in the spotlight between the pipes. Molly, what is the biggest? Obviously, you guys had a great year. There you go. Pass the microphone. I know it's weird. Just grab the thing. It won't break. Don't worry. Obviously, Kenny has that. He had a great year, and we'll talk a little bit more about his awards. So did you. How do you guys stay so calm between the pipes? Like all the pressure's on you in these games, especially at such a high level.
Usually I don't really feel the pressure as much. Like if you just think of it as a team sport, like it has to get through 5 people before it comes to you. Like just focusing on the next shot, like the next save, you kind of start to not think about the pressure and just focus on the game itself.
Yeah. Well, and there certainly is a lot of pressure. Do you ever tight games? Does focus kind of get upped or something, or are you kind of just in your own zone the whole time?
Yeah, definitely. Especially in playoff games, I'm hyper focused. People come to me after and be like, "Did you hear me cheering for you?" I was like, "I don't hear anyone."
Don't
everything
hear,
is
see.
just in the play. I don't know.
It did.
Very focused.
And I was imagine your season finished just a little earlier than Kenny's, right? You guys were. Are you later?
What were you, quarterfinals? Yeah, we were semifinals.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, Kenny. So, and you must have. So, yeah, did you have some tight games as well? I imagine. Yeah. I haven't gone through your whole scorebook here, but all these tournament games seem to be incredibly close.
Yeah. So our first 2 games, we beat Marblehead and then St. Mary's 2-0 for both of them, and then our third game was one of the craziest games that my entire team has ever been a part of. And we beat the top seed 1-0 in double overtime.
1-0.
Yeah, so it was.
That's a good score for a goaltender.
Yeah, yeah. So it was a really exciting game.
Why so crazy?
It was just super intense, all the time. There was no spurts where it lulled. It was high intensity, through all regulation time, both double overtimes. We ended up scoring it with 59 seconds left in double overtime.
Wow.
So it was
well, that's exciting.
Yeah, right up to the end, it was really crazy.
Well, that is very interesting. Kenny, was thinking about, as we were talking about pressure, obviously there's this element of calm and all that. And sometimes goaltenders, I think both of you might agree, you just watch even some of the pro goaltenders. Everybody says sometimes they can be really quirky. They're leave them to themselves. That's the goaltender. But, and you were kind of different, because I remember this story. And Coach Paul, I don't know if you've probably heard this actually after all these years, but Coach Paul Yameen told me one day, he goes, "I got to tell you, I think Kenny's going to be a great goaltender in this league." This was years ago, but the one thing that concerns me is he's very smart. He goes, "I've never actually had a real smart goaltender before, really good at school, and it's I think a little bit too smart almost." No, but it was he was just speaking very highly of you on and off the ice, and I know you were just one of his favorites, so I'm sure you know that by now, but
yeah, I've heard that story a couple times.
Oh yeah, he keeps telling that one, does he?
Yeah, he does. No, me and Coach Yameen have a really good connection. I talk to him pretty much every day, even since the season's ended. I mean, even though we've only had 3 days of school probably in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, you guys enjoying the time off? Are you here or?
Well.
Look at you, great student. See?
No, it's fun having a snow day, but I don't know. Sometimes it gets boring.
Yeah,
without hockey, but
yeah,
that's okay.
You just said yeah too, Molly. You're missing hockey as well.
Yeah, definitely.
The microphone, the goaltender sharing thing here. What is it like when you have that all year round? You got this thing to go to. It's almost like a full-time job after school. You get this hockey practice every day and games, and then suddenly it's not there. I know I'm not trying to depress you guys, but it is a little bit different, right? It's kind of like a culture shock.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you get from I don't know when hockey starts, the end of November. From then you get into really set routine. These are your practice times.
Yep.
This is where you're going. This is where you have to be. Every day. You get into such a good schedule and a rhythm, and then and then it's over. And so it's just trying to figure out what to do with all the time.
What do you do? Do you? Is it video games? You read a book? What do you do? How are you filling this void?
I mean, I'm playing some like club soccer. I'll fill a little time.
And not goalie, right? I think I asked you that before.
Yeah, not goalie.
You've
But
saved enough stuff for the few months.
but like training and stuff like for the off season is like really important and something that
You already into that?
I'll try doing.
How many days have you been eliminated for?
What's today?
Today is Thursday.
3.
Yeah. You've been eliminated for 3 days, and off-season training is on. Kenny, are you slacking? You already behind?
Well, I've been done for a week, but I haven't really done much of anything. I actually picked up my Xbox controller for the first time in probably 2 years.
Oh, there you go. Again, trying to find some way to pass the time, huh?
Yes. Very sad, but no, it's been really boring.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you'll be okay here as we go, but
I'll be okay.
now, can you do
a few weeks?
A few weeks. Jeez. So you need another month or so. Yeah. Okay. What is I think the best? I remember. I think Coach Belichick actually said this. He's like the thing about the one and dones is like you're like flying all year long on this plane, and then suddenly it's like this, it's like crash landing. It's over, season's over, and then you got nowhere to go. It is kind of a weird feeling.
Oh yeah.
You choose Xbox. Molly chooses training. That's good. But Kenny, what a career you had too. I mean, you started all those games as a freshman. I mean, you split some time, but you were the guy there a lot freshman year. What was that like, being thrown into the varsity mix as a freshman? Because we were watching you, and you stole some games for that team, and that was like a veteran Newburyport team too that you were on as a freshman. I mean, did those guys like work with you and like kind of bring you along? I mean, that must be intimidating. I remember me as a freshman. It's like a boy and a bunch of men too. It must have been interesting to say the least.
Oh yeah, definitely interesting. I had a little bit of a hard time getting used to it at first. I know the beginning of my season was a little rough. Almost lost the job at first, but then I got it back with the support of a bunch of the seniors, juniors.
You remember some of those guys? I feel like there's always like a couple guys that like you really stick with you, that really helped you along.
Yeah, I remember a bunch of them. I remember Ben Ventura, Ty Terry, and Tyson Gadatis. I was always really close with them.
Yep.
They helped me a lot that season, especially.
Ty Terrian helped you along from the penalty box? Is that right?
No,
I'm just kidding.
Was good.
He was one of my favorite little scrappy players.
I know, me too. He was great. He was actually a really good leader.
Was he?
Yeah.
On the ice and off the ice?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yep. So they really helped me get adjusted.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. I remember Ty and actually he's a good guy for you too, because if anybody crashes your net after the whistle, he's kind of the enforcer to take care of that sort of thing, right?
Yeah, my back.
That is right. Yeah, I always enjoyed him. And the as you kind of got older, now you ended up wearing the C this year, and you were kind of a leader even last year too. Although you had that bad injury too.
Yeah.
I forgot about that, which you still swear is a ping pong injury. I'm not sure I'm buying it, but okay. Are we sticking with that story still after all these years? Yeah, good. Okay, I'm fine. I won't ask any more questions. But you had was it a broken wrist or hand or finger? Or
2 fingers.
2 fingers.
Yeah.
Not good for a goaltender to have that kind of injury.
No.
Kept you out for most of the pretty much all the season, right? I forget what you did that
I
year.
got it like halfway through. And I was out for a month.
Yeah.
So, which stunk.
Nah, not good.
No.
How'd you deal with that? Molly, you ever dealt with an injury like that?
Not for a while. Definitely, I used to get injured all the time, though. I was definitely
all the time
accident prone.
Oh, this came up last time we thought, didn't it?
Yeah. But not recently. Trying to
all right.
get that under control.
Well, that's good. So Kenny's fresher with this. So how did you deal with that, Kenny?
I don't know. It was kind of tough, but I went to all the practices, and I was just trying to have a little bit of a voice there.
Yeah.
Obviously, I wanted the best for the team, and I was trying really, really hard to get back.
Yep.
Despite what my doctor said. We won't talk about that.
Everybody has those moments.
Yeah, I know. No, so I was always in the locker room, talking to the players, working with them, whatever way I could.
Yeah.
It was tough. Not
And that was the
being on
year
ice, but-
Noah Kalesha was the other goalie, right?
Yes.
That was, and I kept hearing you were really, really good with him. So
Yeah. We were good for each other.
that is good. So Molly, when you have a nice clean year, injury free, since you've gotten over all your injuries, what is the key? You're in training mode already, you said. So what are you doing? What does it take to be a goaltender at the varsity level?
For me, it just took having goalie experience because before me coming up to high school, they had like goalies that I've never played before.
Yep.
And I was in 7th grade and they asked me to play, but according to my mom, I was too young.
What?
So,
It's 7th grade.
But-
God, I thought you were impressive as a freshman, Kenny. Never mind.
but definitely adjusting. Like, we had a really wide range of shooters, especially my freshman year. We had some really, really strong shooters on my team, and
Must be fun at practice.
yeah, definitely adjusting to those shots was like something that like helped me gain a lot of experience for the playoffs. So
Gotcha.
that was a lot.
So the tournament season has just ended. And what's the deal with sports for you guys? You don't play any.
I
do
play baseball.
You do play baseball. That's right. Okay. And Molly does.
Okay.
And what do you play, Molly?
I have the spring off.
All right. So you're just doing the club soccer and
Yeah.
goaltender training. Gotcha. So this is an interesting time of year because it's almost spring, but there's snow on the ground. And you guys, when do we go back to school? When did you go back to school? Is it today?
Yeah, we went
First day
to school
back?
today. Yeah.
What's
We
this?
had- Was it the last 2 days off?
Yeah.
Yeah. So went back today.
How's the what do kids do besides the Xbox and stuff on a snow day? Do you actually hang out with people, or are you really hunkering down inside?
It depends. So on what was it? Tuesday? Is that when we got the big snow?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Tuesday. Yeah.
Tuesday I was stuck inside all day. Didn't do anything. And then yesterday I hung out with a few friends. So
There you go. Good to get out
was-
there.
yeah.
It's strange because, well, how late do you guys go to school now?
We go at 7:30.
No, do you know how many, like, with snow days, like towards, is it pushing July now,
You
or
had 7 snow days?
Yeah, I don't know.
7 snow days? What you
I
don't?
get out in May, so I don't know.
Oh yes, the senior deal. That's right.
Yeah.
What's the deal with you in college and stuff? Have you made those plans public or anything? Or
Not yet. My top 3 are Michigan, University of Virginia, and University of Pittsburgh. I'm
Wow.
actually going to Michigan and Virginia at the end of this month.
Yep.
And so,
Doing some traveling with the family. They
Yep.
come down with you.
yep.
Very
Along with
good.
My dad.
That's right. And you got the hockey in your blood too. Your dad, of course, the former NHLer, the
Yep.
great guy. We see him at the rink all the time, and I feel like does he get nervous watching you?
So he used to not get nervous at all.
He's a
and then-
stander. I always used to notice
Yeah,
that at the rink.
he was a stander. And then, according to some of my goalie coach this year, he went to a few of my games and stood with my dad. And I guess he's a screamer this year.
A screamer this
Yeah,
year.
that's what he said. So.
What does that mean? Like getting on the officials or no? Just
Yeah,
kidding.
yes, honestly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, getting on the officials, getting on, not really players, but
Some of the officiating is bad, isn't it? You don't have. Yeah, good job. Don't have to answer that. I can say it. Oh, some of it is so bad. Some of it's good too, but man, I don't know. All sports, basketball too. But we'll digress on that one. I'll save that conversation for Coach Amin maybe. But that's cool. So I mean, how'd you end up being a goalie? Your dad didn't play goalie.
yeah, no, he didn't. So,
Did he say I can't help you there?
he offered a lot of help.
Yeah.
His shooter's perspective.
Shooter's perspective,
Yeah.
yes.
No, so my first year of mites, our team didn't have a goalie.
Yep.
So I was just like, yeah, I'll try out for goalie. Why not?
And you loved it?
And I loved it. I just stuck with it.
That's really the story, huh?
Yeah.
Just thrown into it like that?
Yeah, just throwing into
No kidding.
I know.
Wow.
It was really bad the first few years.
But they needed somebody.
Yeah, they needed someone. So
How'd you get involved, Molly? What was your first go at it?
Yeah, mine was a little different experience. I had been a player, like not a goalie, for like 5 or 6 years.
Most do kind of start that way, just because the nature of there's
so-
more skating positions.
And I don't know why, but I just randomly like really like was obsessed with like being goalie, and like whenever I would play street hockey with my brothers, like I would ask them to shoot on me, and like in the basement, like all this stuff.
Was that tough getting in that game?
Definitely helped.
You were welcomed in with open arms, though.
Yeah.
But that must have been a real cool. And your old brother was older, right?
Yeah, I have 2
Because
older
that's
brothers.
Austin, the former your former teammate for a little while, right?
Yeah.
A couple of years, or yeah. Sorry, continue.
So that went on for like maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
And then after begging my parents, I finally was able to become a goalie, and just they thought I was going to regret it, but I fell in love with it. So
They thought you were going to regret it.
yeah,
That's interesting. What was that conversation?
Well, I played on 2 teams. My first year being a goalie, I played on a boys team and a girls team.
Yep.
And the boys team, I was a goalie, but the girls team, I was a player.
Oh wow.
So just so like if I regret it, then I wouldn't have like lost like the skills or whatever. But I was like, yeah, I'm done with being a player. Like,
Full-time goaltender.
yeah, yeah.
And Kenny, you never went back after Mites to skating. You were a goalie from Mites on, and that was the way it was going to be?
Yeah, I mean, skated out on the backyard rink, but that's about it.
You did the backyard rink?
Yeah.
Those things are really hard, aren't they? I always have like a lot of respect for parents who are out there dealing with I mean, it's just not that huge anyway, but it's like you got tarps, and most of them I think fail. But you had a successful one, I'm guessing?
We had a successful one for a couple of years.
A couple of years.
And then
You're
got a
smiling.
bunch
There
of
was a big issue.
snowstorms.
Okay, yeah.
And then there was one year where it was too hot, and I don't even know.
Yeah.
My dad got aggravated.
Well, does he still do it to this day?
No. We stopped after last year.
After last year,
Last
right?
year's failure.
After last year's failure. Oh, all right. Well, sorry there,
No,
Mr. Hodge. But well, that's interesting. So obviously your dad's a stander, very nervous. Your parents, Molly,
I told my parents that they're not allowed to stand.
not allowed to stand. Do you have that kind of authority?
Yeah. Well, because my dad especially liked to stand right by the net in the corner. And
Kenny feels
I
this
said
pain.
that's not allowed.
Oh, that is fantastic.
They said if it interrupted my playing, then I guess they would have to move. So.
Good compromise. Okay.
Yeah. So
So you put your foot down.
yes, I did. So now they're no longer standers.
Okay. Are they like on the other side of the rink now, or?
I think they choose somewhere in the middle.
All right. Good. Elevated.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And you were laughing as soon as I asked that question. So have we had this conversation as well, Kenny Hodge?
Yeah. Just with my dad. Yeah, he used to always stand to the right of me, right up against the glass. And I don't know why, but I would always like look over at him, and he got in my head sometimes. I was just like, oh no. So I told him to move, and then he moved up top, just started standing there and being quiet.
Just need to get him out of your vision a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I can understand that. And there were some nights you had the whole family at the rink. Your sister Ashley did a couple games with me up there when I was calling your games, and she did a great job. I know. Did you guys ever get a chance to listen to those games? She did a good job. I think she called a shutout win of yours, actually.
Oh, I don't even know. I didn't get to listen to any of them.
You didn't? I thought maybe you'd play it back or something.
No,
That's okay.
My parents used to always listen to them. My mom used to just like listen to you guys while watching the game, and I was just like, oh.
Oh, at the rink,
If you want to do that, it's fine.
I always thought that was, well, not strange is the wrong word, but a lot of people would do that, and the thing about that was, it was always like on a 10-second delay or whatever the delay is. So you'd call it, and then you could see like if one of their kids scored or something, they'd run to the thing, run to the headset and make sure they heard it, you know. So that was always kind of an interesting, funny thing to see. But it was fun calling the games for you guys. But yeah, so a family affair at the rink a lot of those nights. Your sister's doing well, I hear.
Mm-hmm. Yep, she's doing excellent down at Clemson.
Yeah, she's got to be a junior
she's a
now,
junior.
or okay.
Yeah.
So doing well with the broadcasting and stuff.
Oh yeah.
You got a future in that too? Your dad did a lot of that. I think you're like the only one now.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be doing that. I'd rather Stay this side. More statistics. So.
Goaltenders, quirky.
I know.
All right, well, guys, let's do this. We got plenty more to talk about with you. I kind of lost track of time here, which is easy to do when you have two interesting guests. So I have missed the first break by quite a while. So let's do this. We'll take our break right now. We'll be right back with these two, Molly Elmore and Kenny Hodge, the two goaltenders representing Newburyport. And, well, they're very good and very interesting and good to talk to here on a Thursday afternoon. So keep it here. Much more Afternoon Drive. My name is Drew Moholland. We'll be right back with more. All right, and welcome back to Afternoon Drive here on WJOP Radio. I am got Hud in the studio. I'm taking off the winter hat. It's so cold out. I sometimes just keep the winter hat on. I guess I do that a lot of times. It's now off. I don't care about the hair day. Kenny and promised you wouldn't judge. You get a great set of hair there too. Molly, I wouldn't. I can't quite relate with the woman's hair. It's but it's you know how I can be. Wearing the hat. It gets weird. But Molly Elmore, Ken Hodge are here. Goaltenders, both out of Newburyport. Molly plays for the Masco team, the mixed team. What were the schools again? 3 schools?
It's Newburyport, Triton, Amesbury, Georgetown.
4 schools.
Masco.
That's right. 5 schools.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's time to have your own team, I think. I think we just got to recruit all the Newburyport girls. Don't you think?
I mean, I would love to have the co-op under the Newburyport name, definitely, because, I mean, having it under Masco is not ideal. But I've definitely met a lot of, really good players, really good friends, and teammates, through having it in a co-op. So that's definitely been a plus.
Look at you with the good answer. Good for you. Well, that's cool. I think we maybe talked about this last time, but eventually it does seem like the sport is growing on the girls' side too, though. I mean, you probably are going to have your own team here at Newburyport and probably all those schools at some point.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah, it's definitely been talked about, and definitely something that's, going to be coming up in the next couple years.
Yeah.
So they're hoping, because, I mean, definitely from when I was younger, there's a lot more girls playing now than when I was 4. I was the only girl on the team for 5 years.
Yeah, it's interesting. Kenny, can you imagine playing with Triton and Masco? And must be shocking to you to hear.
Yeah, I'd hate that.
Yeah, there were some great rivalries in your league. Who was the team you loved beating the most?
Definitely either Triton or North Reading.
Yeah, North Reading was always a battle for you guys.
Yeah, we're bitter rivals with them.
Bitter rivals.
Oh yeah.
That's Coach John Gugliotti, right?
I don't even
Look
know.
at you, blocking it all out. Amazing, you goaltenders. Yeah, a good guy. But yeah, you guys always had some tough games. Tough rink to go into and win, North Reading.
Definitely, yeah.
Tough rink to broadcast a game out of, actually.
Really?
Gets very loud up there.
Oh.
Sometimes they even get on the broadcaster. True story. We won't get into details though. So busy. It's funny. I just asked these guys both off the air what is going on at school here in mid-March in the late days of winter here, and you both looked at each other and said, really not much. But today you did have the walkout. You guys, I mentioned it at the beginning. That was confirmed. You had the gun control walkout, and that happened. I guess a day behind the national one. So I'm right. That happened.
Yeah, it did happen.
It did happen. All right. Well, that's interesting. So a day behind. I think a lot of schools were doing that. I know Bill Ricka did it today. I think a bunch of them are doing tomorrow because you can't really walk out of school if you don't have school. So that's what happened there, I guess. When it does get to this point in the school year, you are already in your senior slide. I think you said, Kenny, is that right?
Not trying to be, but
you don't have to answer that, really. I'm just kidding with you. But I like that you did, though. It was good. What's it like with this? It's kind of an odd spot. I remember that, senior year winding down flies by, doesn't it?
Oh my God, yeah.
Do you keep telling yourself slow down, slow down, slow down?
Yeah.
I remember that clearly for some reason. It just goes by in a flash.
Mm-hmm.
You have another year. I'm right on that, right?
Yeah, I have another 2 years.
Another 2 years. You're only a sophomore?
Yeah.
I don't think I remembered that from our last conversation.
Yeah,
Wow.
2 more years.
If you had Coach Paul Yameen, you wouldn't be allowed in here, I'm right. Aren't I right, Kenny? Yeah, upperclassmen only. Interesting. So Kyle trusts you very much. Kyle Hodge, your AD. he keeps sending you over. You got to talk to Molly. Great stories here at the end of the year. So, actually, No great story. I think you have good stories. You went to the semifinals of the tournament. That's fantastic.
It's exciting.
But he wanted me to mention something too. Kyle sent me something. Oh, I don't think you mentioned that 1-0 shutout was against the number 1 team.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was exciting.
Not only that, again, I think you're kind of modest because 50 saves.
Yeah.
I'm hearing that's not
exciting.
sarcasm,
Very
right?
exciting game.
So that added to the excitement. I think we should elaborate more on this.
Yeah.
A 50 save, 1-0 shutout.
Yeah, that was the double overtime win. Definitely one of the, like, collectively as a team, like, best games that we've played. Like, we all, like, the entire team gave their, like, whole effort on and off the bench, and, like, it made a huge impact in, like, keeping up with this team. So.
Do you get tired in a double overtime game as a goaltender? Like, I think there are some people who don't understand, like, the sport, and they're like, well, the goaltender's not moving out there, you know, just stop in reaction. You can't be getting too tired.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I was, like we talked about, like, I was super focused, and me and Kenny were just talking about this. The only thing that I noticed was that my back really hurt.
In more ways than one, I think. Yes, carrying.
Yeah, so that was something that, like, I mean, Kenny was talking about that we've both experienced that as the back difficulties that come with being a goalie.
So you should have people carry the hockey bags in at least. I think you need your own people.
And carrying the bag is definitely doesn't help.
Yeah, I think it's time you both got people. Yeah, to do that. Kenny, you guys don't. I mean, the overtime thing is kind of unique to state tournament play, obviously. I don't think you guys had too many like marathon ones like that, right, over your career, or any for that matter. But
I don't think we've had any.
Yeah, which is just kind of a fluky thing. But
Yeah.
But I'm sure you've had games that are more strenuous mentally and physically than others.
Yeah.
What is that like when that, I guess when the back pain creeps in or whatever that is? Mental game a little bit, right?
Yeah, definitely. You just try to do the best you can, just block everything out pretty much, just focus on the puck. I found that it's best just to focus on your breathing, and then for some reason, I don't know, this worked for me, but for some reason I just was able to focus so much more on the play.
Really? Hey, Molly, you looking at him like you have no idea what he's talking about? You're what?
No, I
You agree? Good. Yeah, of course they agree. Keep going. Sorry to interrupt.
No, so you just got to have like laser focus in these games, especially the tough games that are against higher opponents. With a lot of shots, especially.
What kind of like specifically breathing tricks? I'm just curious. People might be able to use this in real life.
I don't know. Just take. I don't even know. I was just focusing on my breathing and not trying to like have an inner dialogue at all. Just think about only the breathing. And
breathing puck.
Yeah,
breathing puck.
Okay. See the puck. Save the puck. That's it.
Simple game. So Molly, you agree with this a little bit. What was your trick of staying calm or whatever that is?
Yeah, so similar like to Kenny, it's just my motto is more just like focus on like where the puck is and the next shot, and not like the inner dialogue definitely is usually not helpful. So just getting like clearing your mind, getting that out of your head.
The inner dialogue is usually not helpful. So all right, now I like the psychology lesson here. This is good. So you try not talking to yourself.
Yeah.
You don't want to hear yourself in your head at all.
Yeah, no, I don't want to hear myself thinking. I don't, just like focusing on the play, like in the moment, just not like worrying, oh, what if this shot goes in, or we can't deserve to let up a goal, like all these things, the what ifs, will just make you like off your game and stuff. So
both of you don't want to hear yourselves. You don't want to hear your parents. You don't seem like very fun between the pipes.
Yeah, definitely. I block a lot of things besides the puck, and the players around me is pretty much what I block out.
Very interesting. You're kind of like the, you know what the comparison I think of is like the baseball pitcher in like a perfect game. Like when everybody like lets the person sit on the other side of the dugout, but don't talk to him.
That's definitely me during like especially playoffs. I like
Leave
I had
her
a very
alone.
strict pregame routine and stuff, and everyone knew, like, oh, don't talk to her, don't interrupt her, like, she'll do her thing.
And
so,
if we interrupt her, she might go crazy.
yeah, that's definitely something that helps me get focused too. Like,
What's the
having
routine?
I
had to ask.
It's not that exciting. Usually just like throwing a ball like against a wall before we do like off ice warm ups, and then again before I get dressed, and then I have like one of my coaches like throw tennis balls and like I catch them, so that just like helps me get focused, like get like my eyes ready or whatever. So that's definitely really something that I found to be really helpful.
How about you, Kenny? I always noticed you had headphones on at the rink. Maybe not always, but it was an observation I made.
Yeah, I was always listening to music.
Actually, we were just talking about music, but during the break we had the Eagles Take It Easy, and I was very impressed by Kenny. Molly did not know that song. Sorry to call you out for this, Molly, but Kenny was mortified that Molly did not know that Eagles cover song there.
Well, yeah, it's a great song.
It is a great song. Well, we'll get you a new. We'll get you the greatest hits of Eagles album, here, Molly, that your parents probably have. Great band. Sorry to interrupt. But what are you listening to though, Kenny, when you're pregame?
So this was a little bit of a weird little mix. Usually, probably 2 hours before the game, I'd start listening to some jazz music.
Really?
Yeah, crazy.
You just got our boss's attention, Sarah Hayden, diehard jazz fan. But
yeah,
that's interesting.
I don't know, calmed me down before the game.
Really?
Yep. And then probably an hour and 20 minutes before the game, I'd start listening to a little bit of rap, just like 3 or 4 songs.
Yeah.
Get the blood flowing a little bit.
It's a lot of music pregame, it feels like.
It's a lot of music.
So that's a big part of the routine is music.
Yeah. Just getting into my game. And then I would go over and listen to country music after that up until the game time. And then
so we've just missed what, reggae and
Yes.
pretty much covering all the bases here.
Yep.
Did you ever turn to music, Molly, or is this Kenny seems like he has it covered for the both of you, but just
Yeah, I definitely use music as a way of getting focused. Just like keeping to myself or whatever, it definitely really helps. I don't have a strict of a music plan, but pretty much kind of Kenny, just like start off like calming the nerves and then more like getting myself hyped up. So
that's very interesting. So music for goaltenders, that's a real thing, I think. I think that's what we landed on here. And Kenny, do you have? Is it like the same playlist every time, or is it do you switch it up, or is it like the goaltender? It's listed goalie music, game day goalie music.
No, it's just a shuffle of songs. Just whatever comes on. It's usually the same type of beat, so
it's interesting because you listen to jazz, of course, which is very more sophisticated than what actually is usually playing in your locker room, because I've heard a lot of that music, and there was a whole year where it came up at the banquet that one year. We didn't know what the heck was going on in that locker room. You wouldn't believe some of the stuff that was playing. All these like 20 guys in high school listening, like just singing their hearts out, like Katy Perry. And am I right, Katy Perry? I'm trying to remember the names of the day.
Yeah, there was some Katy Perry, Justin Bieber, mainly post game.
Victory celebrations.
Victory, yeah. That's what it was. And then pre-game's usually just rap, rock.
So did you ever like walk into the locker room and like turn around and be like, I can't do this right now?
Yeah, I tried to stay out of the locker room until I had to get dressed. I warmed up before everyone else.
Who was the previously mentioned Tyson Gadatis? No, did Tyson do the music?
No, it wasn't.
Or did Terrian?
Tyson. It was usually. So Ty was our freshman year, and then Robbie Lagasse did it.
Oh yeah, Lagasse.
Year.
That's right.
Tanner Derby did it last year. No, not Tanner. I think Paul Federico,
Okay.
and then it was Pat Leary who did this year.
Needless to say, there was some bad music taste to go around, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, very good. And who gets do you get Molly? Molly, do you get music controls in your locker room as the goaltender? Or?
No, I don't like that job.
No touch. What's the girls' locker room? What are you listening to? Please tell me it's better than the guys.
Well, I can definitely relate that post game. There's a lot of Justin Bieber, especially on the bus.
The Bieber thing makes sense to me. It really does. But
just got a microphone attached to our speaker.
Oh, good Lord.
So
you do too?
so the bus rides are really really exciting. So a lot of sing along songs.
Bus drivers need a raise.
Yeah. Our coach said if we like, I don't know, if we made it to the Garden or if we beat the certain team, that he would
retire.
He would sing a Justin Bieber song.
Okay.
That never ended up happening. We're still waiting for that.
Well, I mean, you should pay that off, I guess. It's only fair.
Yeah.
Wow, a microphone on the bus. I can't even get my head around that. We would have been so obnoxious back in the day.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, okay. Things haven't
fun,
changed.
Pre-game too, it was definitely a way that our team kind of came like all together and like got each other hyped up and like
Gotcha.
kind of like united. So that was definitely good.
And then Molly, I don't know your coaching staff. I do know yours, Kenny. I cannot picture a microphone on the bus with guys singing.
No, I can imagine, Coach, you mean just blocking that all out.
He's on the bus, right? How does that happen? Yeah. Does he block it out? I can picture him standing up and going, "Enough, we're done here."
No, he didn't do that. He was always happy after a win, so he would just be like
the tough guy serious thing. It's all one big act, isn't it?
Yes, of course. Only after a win though.
That's true. You can do whatever you want after a win, right?
Yeah. He let us do whatever and just ignored it and probably wasn't fond of it, but it's okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking all those guys. I don't think any of them, that's their kind of... They approved of the microphone, though. Very cool. All right, guys, we'll take one more quick break. We got only the last segment coming up, so we're flying through here. Don't forget, folks, you can follow us at Joppa Afternoons on Twitter. I have done a bad job. I've been very caught up in conversation here with these two. I have not checked for questions, so I will do that here during the break and just see if anybody's shooting anything this way, which does happen sometimes. But keep it here. Much more afternoon drive in just a moment. My name is Drew Moholland, Joppa Radio. All right, I'm welcome on back to Afternoon Drive here on Joppa Radio. My name is Drew Moholland. Hello to Lily Dissette, our producer extraordinaire here on pretty much every show these days. She's around the station all the time. You're doing all sorts of projects. We'll have you on sometime. Trying to do projects. And a big thanks to David Kramer, the TV producer out there, for everybody streaming on the television. That's a very cool tool as well. So good to see you guys as well. Goaltenders here today. It's been a lot of fun. Molly Elmore, the new... I hate that I have to say you play for Masco. I really want a Newburyport team, Molly. Get us a Newburyport team.
A lot of people.
Not that I have anything against Masco. I don't. I think it's time. We got to make a move for this. But we also have Ken Hodge of the boys squad. Both of you guys had a great season, good tournament runs, and now it's over, and here you are doing radio shows, trying to find ways to pass the time. So we can do this every day if you'd like. You can stop by, and if that helps fill the void. Coach Emin's tough to get. I know that. So it's although he brought I think your whole first line over last time or something. So you noticed that. How do you forget the goalie? Was that just I'll pass?
Well, no, I actually had a goalie lesson that night, so I
I
couldn't get over here.
Gotcha.
I would have, but
yeah.
Training comes first.
Well, thanks. This is better. I would rather have more time with you. That was a good group to have as a group, I think. Just kidding. I don't mean to offend any of you guys. All right. So best part about being a student athlete at Newburyport. Let's go, Molly, first.
Oh, God.
Loaded question?
For me, I'm definitely very schedule-oriented. So having a routine of school, then sports, then homework, definitely helped me stay on top of everything that I needed to do, and it was a way to be busy and be with my friends doing something I love. So that was definitely a really good balance for me.
And now you have 2 more years of this.
I do.
That's going to be. I mean, you have a lot of experience. You did pretty much what Kenny did. You've got all this experience as a underclassman.
Yeah, definitely. Having this experience like early is, it definitely helps. Helps you improve. As you get older.
Yeah, there's really no actually. It's kind of cool having you both on here because it's a cool dynamic. What was like the biggest thing you learned as you went? Like, I mean, obviously you got better every year. You were good as a freshman too, but I mean, what made you better each year?
The biggest thing for me was probably my mental game and not getting caught up in whether or not the team scored. Or how well I was doing in practice. Obviously, that's important, but I was trying not to
dwell on it,
psych myself out and dwell on it. If I had a bad game or let up a bad goal, I would just try to just shake it off, get the next one, and when
he's dropping Taylor Swift lyrics now. Did you notice this, Molly? No, I'm just kidding. Bad joke. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I don't know. I found when you just stop worrying about messing up.
Yeah.
You start to play a little bit better.
That seems easier said than done, but I got you.
Yeah.
Give up 6 goals and, don't worry about those.
Yeah, well.
On to the next one.
Took me 4 years to figure it out.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's good advice, though. I mean, I guess you can't get too down on yourself, right? And it must have been weird as and Molly, you probably experienced this, probably still going through this right now, but what's it like, because you do play with a lot of these older kids, too. That is a big age difference from being an underclassman to a senior, and I know it's probably strange at times. Maybe they're doing different things, or I don't know. Is there any oddness to that, or?
I haven't really experienced that in hockey.
Yeah.
Mostly because coming into totally not knowing anyone, I kind of followed my only friend that I had, which was one of our captains this year. She's from Newburyport, is Sammy Kelleher, and she did a really good job of integrating me into her friends and introducing me, including me on all that. So
Gotcha.
A lot of my people that I was close with on the team ended up being upperclassmen. So
right.
Once you get to know them, it's totally fine. But also they're really good leaders and stuff to have around.
That is good. How about you, Katie? Was it mostly a plus, or I remember some of those guys. I remember looking at them and I was like, Kenny's got to stay away from them.
No, it definitely helps knowing a lot of them.
Yeah, it must help you integrate in the actual corridors too, right?
Yeah, I'd also known a bunch of them since they were young because they were in my sister's grade. So
oh yeah, that's right.
Seniors, at least my freshman year.
That helps too. Yeah.
And then one of my neighbors' cousins was Tyson, so I knew him. Good friends with him.
Tyson Gadatis.
Yeah, it was pretty easy to.
Also, his dad is he was the goalie coach, right?
Yeah, he was the goalie coach.
So that helps too.
Definitely, yeah.
But I mean, it's also especially with the in those those locker rooms, and I mean seniors that now you're experiencing it, but you're talking about college and all that stuff, and very much adult plans in the world.
Oh yeah.
And the freshmen are kind of I'm not concerned about any of that. That's a unique feeling.
Yeah, definitely unique. You really don't get it until senior year. I mean, you start a little bit junior year, going on tours.
I like that you looked at Molly. I dropped the microphone. I like that you looked at Molly for that. That's it's a good lesson. Yes, a teaching moment here from Ken Hodge.
But yeah, you really never get the feeling that time's actually going by so quickly until this year and until it's really over, which is sad, but I guess everyone goes through it.
Well, what'd you say? Michigan, Pittsburgh, and Virginia?
Yes.
A great memory by me. I think you'll enjoy yourself there.
I hope so.
Yeah, and any of them.
I know. I think I will too.
It is cool. It does. I always felt that as sad as it was to go as a senior, because it is. I mean, it's a weird, jump in life, but it kind of it feels like the right time to go. They tend to build these things, so it feels like the right time. Whoever made that structure. But yeah, do you feel like you're ready and you've done your work here? I'm sure a few more tournament wins, maybe. I'm sure.
Would have helped.
Coach Amin will take you for another year. I know that.
I hope so. I wish I could stay. But
yeah.
No, I feel like I'm kind of ready. Also a little scared to be on my own.
That's very
First
natural.
time in my life, but
You pick your sister's brain a lot,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
She's big school too, obviously, Clemson. So
Yeah, huge sports too.
yeah, she's
I
actually
love.
had some fun years too. Do you visit
I visited this year in October.
in October? Yeah.
Went for a football game.
So,
it was
and
fun.
there was no Clemson was on the agenda.
No,
No.
I couldn't go to the same school as her.
Yeah, I hear you.
Weird.
I got you. Do you look at schools yet, Molly? How early do people look these days?
I started looking just because I'm interested in playing hockey at in college, so kind of started that. I'm not really like full into it yet, but like started talking to some coaches, like
No,
at
that's
some
good.
schools.
Preparation, that's good. As a sophomore, and you're already training for next year, so you're pretty much into junior year. I didn't even ask you. Are you planning on playing some puck in some form, or?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna play club hockey.
Yeah,
So
that can be very serious, you know.
yeah, no, I know Pittsburgh and Michigan especially both have really competitive club teams. Virginia's not as competitive, but they still have
Yeah,
a decent team. So
good basketball team.
that's true.
Good
sports
They're gonna
teams.
make a run here. I think. Well, actually, they just lost their sixth man for this tournament, though. I don't know how big you're into it, but
I'm into it.
they were one of my top bracket picks, and then one of their best players went down with an injury, so I had to.
Oh, wow.
They lost. I took them off a round. Still good, but I don't think they're gonna win it all.
No, I don't really think so. But
I don't think my Providence is gonna win it all either. but anyway, so final minute or two, guys. Final thoughts. What do we think? Who wants to take it? You want to say thank you to your fans, Kenny, maybe, because you're the senior. Why don't you say thank you there, or whatever you want to say to everybody who supported you, or I don't know, helped you along the way.
I don't know. I'd just like to thank
Yeah, do it in 30 seconds. That's great.
all my coaches, all my family. I had a bunch of extended family at all my games, or
Yep.
most of my games. They're loud. But it was always nice seeing them. I was very happy with my 4 years here, and sad to go, but I'm excited for the next 4 years of my life.
Very nice. Molly, any final thoughts? I feel like I'm going to talk to you a lot more here, being a sophomore, but
Nothing as profound as that.
very good.
Yeah, pretty much just good season. Looking forward to next couple seasons to come. too.
Few more 50 save games.
Yeah, I hope
Maybe
so.
maybe 40 save games. Yeah, 50 is a little much. Well, I will say this about both of you, Molly. Your AD Kyle continues to be like you're one of the best speakers for your sport and for the school. So that's why you've been on here twice and probably many more times. So I appreciate you being such a great guest. And Kenny, I think I remember telling Coach Yumeen this here at the end of the last game I did a few weeks ago. One thing that Gary and I always appreciated was every time, like, we didn't even know half you guys without your uniforms on, like, because we see you on the rink, but don't go into the locker room or anything, so we really don't recognize you without numbers. You all kind of look the same, actually. But one thing that Gary and I always appreciated was you would always go out of your way to say hello, take the headphones out, and just a very polite young man. So you showed that today, and great luck in college.
Thank you.
Very good. All right, guys, that's going to do it for another edition of Afternoon Drive. Molly, Elmore, Kenny Hodge, you guys were great. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we'll see you. We'll see you again. We'll see you both on here again next Tuesday. Weekend's already here. That's what happens when snowstorms cancel storms. So we will see you next week. Have a great weekend, everybody. My name's Drew Moholland. This has been Afternoon Drive.